What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Hope all you're having a great day so far. Hope you all had a wonderful weekend. Um, Getting into this episode of GH, I enjoyed this episode. This episode was funny to me. Um, Jordan is back with a vengeance. She is putting people on notice. When she was at the grave site, she bumped into Trina or whatever over there. They caught up, and then she had spoke. I guess she was going there to see an old colleague of hers. I think his name was Mark or something like that. That passed away. She basically putting folks on notice. Jordan is like, listen, I am back. I'm not incompetent. I'm here to do my job, and I'm putting asses in jail. She's I'm putting motherfuckers in prison. I'm here for it. I like this. I feel like Jordan is starting to look like they're bringing this character back a little differently than what she was before. Like she's coming back, to do her job, like officially now. Like she's not playing no games with the criminals of Port Charles. Um, and she was definitely kind of putting Sonny on notice that listen, we worked well together before on the Cyrus mess, but that's over with. She said, listen, we got a clean slate right now, but you mess up, you step out of line, I'm not looking the other way. I felt like there was a little bit of flirtation going on with Sonny and Jordan, like a little underlining flirting going on. Because she mentioned something about him living a milder life, I guess, when he was in Nixon Falls. And he said something to the effects of like maybe he's looking for something spicy or more spicy. I was like, hold up. Sonny, go sit your ass down. Sonny, go sit down. I was like, no, sir. My thing was, I'm looking at Jordan like, listen, ma'am, move away from Sonny. You are still young enough to get pregnant. Get away from him. Listen, get away. And you see how tall she looked compared to him? Like she was towering over Sonny. That's how tall she is. Must have been heels or something, because she he looked like a little midget standing all close to her like that. I'm like, damn, she could literally look at the follicles in his hair. That's how tall she is. I'm like, good lord. Um, but I'm interested to see where this actress is gonna take Jordan, where the writers are gonna take it. Like, I'm interested because she's definitely piquing my interest right now. Um, so anyway, I totally get where Carly coming from. Like, it's hard for her to be around Sonny right now, given the divorce and all that. I get it. I totally get where she coming from. Like, it's hard for her. Maybe after a little bit of time she could be around him, but Sonny, he wasn't trying to make no trouble for her. He was like, listen, I'll go where you want me to go. I'll be where you want me to be. I said, look at Sonny. You can tell that man changing a little bit. Uh, because before Sonny would fight her tooth and nail on everything before. Now, if they were divorcing some years ago, or he would have fought on everything. But he seemed like he getting the hint right about now, to give her the one thing she asked for before was space. And he's willing to give that to her now. I like it. I'm like, good. It's about time he listening. Um so anyway, moving on from that. Um Brando. I am so glad Brando stopped himself from doing that whole marriage thing at first. Because at first, he started asking the questions I wanted him to ask. Um, when Sasha was all giddy, talking about, oh, let's get married today and all that, he was like, hold up, pause, pump your brakes. Why you want to get married now all of a sudden? I said, exactly, Brando. Ask her these tough questions. Like, don't you think it's a little sudden? Um, because her and Brando never talked about marriage before, especially while she was pregnant. During pregnancy would have been the time they started talking about stuff like that. And she never mentioned pregnancy, marriage and all that. Now all of a sudden you want to mention marriage? I'm like, I would have been questioning it too. Like, why all of a sudden now? And she came up with all these excuses, all these stories about, oh, I came here with nothing and now I feel full. My life feels full and I want to do this. And I'm like, sir, you can't tell that she high. Like, look at her pupils. You don't see that they dilated? I'm just like, Brando, look at the pupils, look at how she's acting. Now, I mean, just a few weeks ago, she didn't want nothing to do with him. She kept avoiding him like the plague. Now, all of a sudden, you want to get married? Nah, Brando crazy as hell for saying, yeah, let's do it. No, no, no. As soon as he went to go get ready, here she go, popping another pill. She started popping another pill. I'm like, see, this that bull right here. I'm like, you need a meeting. You don't need marriage. You need a rehab center is what you need. You don't need a ring. You need a chip that say that you're 1 year sober or 1 day sober. That's what you need. Um, but I feel bad for her because you can tell she hurting. Like Sasha's definitely hurting, and she's trying to do whatever to numb her pain, basically drugs. Um, and getting into this little hasty marriage with Brando and all that. And hopefully she get the help that she need, because I know being, staying sober and stuff, it's not easy. People fall off the wagon, especially with everything she went through. So it's not shocking that she fell off the wagon, but I'm hoping that somebody notices it. And I think Nina, like I said, I think Nina and Lucy noticed it before that she was acting off when they met up with her before at the diner. They noticed that she was off, but they didn't know exactly what it was. And I'm like, y'all know her drug history. Check for the signs. Now all of a sudden she all giddy. Before she was all withdrawn and didn't want to talk. Now she just all happy, throwing herself into work, wanting to get married on the fly. Like those are all tall tale signs. Like that girl, she needs some help. She definitely do. She all giddy and whatnot. I'm like, nope, get her to a meeting ASAP. So anyway, moving on from that, I totally get where Elizabeth coming from. She feels like she need to put her boys first at this moment, and I love that Finn does not pressure her about anything. He's just trying to be there for her. I love that. I love the relationships that they give Liz. Like it was like that with Franco. I know everybody wasn't thrilled about her and Franco at first. I wasn't either at first, but they grew on me. You know what I'm saying? Like they really did. And her and Finn are growing on me. And I love his patience for her. You know what I mean? He's just trying to be there for her, reassure her, help in any way that he can without pressuring. Um, and he doesn't mind coming second, third boys because that's how it should be. When you're dealing with somebody who has children, you're not going to come first when it comes to their kids, and I love that he didn't feel any kind of way about that. I feel like Elizabeth needs to have a conversation with Jake. I think she should. Um, I know all signs are pointing to Jake right about now, but I don't know if it's him per se. This could be somebody else, that's doing this to her. Because I would hope that none of her children would torment her in this manner. Um, but Finn got the patience of a god. Because listen, he said, I will wait 100 years. He said, I'll wait 200 years tops and then I'm walking. Finn loved him some Elizabeth, and I love it. Because he told her, he was like, listen, I will wait till whenever. I will wait till kingdom come because he feels like she's worth it. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of relationship that you want, like somebody that knows your worth. And that's hard to come by nowadays in relationships because so many people get with somebody that don't know their worth, and it's about time. And, I've always been up and down about Elizabeth over the years, but it's about time, and it's refreshing to see her in a relationship. She's had two good relationships, I feel. Yeah, her and Lucky were, super couple or whatever back in the day. But I feel like her, Franco, and now her and Finn, those are some amazing relationships for her because she did not have to contend with any other woman throughout these relationships, at least until Hayden comes back. But but with Franco, she didn't have to contend with nobody else. She didn't. Franco only had eyes for her. He wasn't thinking about nobody else. Um, and the same with Finn. Finn only sees her. These are really mature relationships for her, and I'm loving it for her. Um, Hopefully they can get to the bottom of this nonsense that's going on, so that way her and Finn can move on with their relationship and their plans. Because it's time to move on. I understand she thinks that her boys haven't moved on from Franco yet. They probably never will because it's been a year, but it's time to move on at some point. You got to keep living your life, and she should. Um, so anyway, moving on from that. So Portia and Curtis are looking at Jax's old house. Apparently Jax is selling, which I'm not surprised because Jax, ever since he left town, has been divesting himself of all his Port Charles holdings. First he divested himself of his half of Aurora Media. Now he's selling his house. I didn't think Portia and Curtis could afford that house. I'm like, that beach house? I didn't think they could afford that. That looked pretty pricey. And if Jax was living there, then it's high end. Like price wise, it's expensive. Plus it's underwater, so homeowners insurance is gonna be a bitch. I'm just saying. Cause when you live underwater, that homeowners insurance, flood insurance and all that stuff is gonna be high. The property tax, all that stuff is gonna be pretty pricey. Um It's gonna drain your bank account. But I think Jax would probably give them a fair deal on it. I think he would, cause I think he will. It's so funny too because Lucy told them that Sonny also was in the market to buy a new house. But Jax, there was no way in hell Jax was about to sell his house to Sonny. There was just no way. And my thing is, why is Sonny even looking for a new house? Like, he owns Connie's house. I remember he bought it. And that's where Marcus Taggart was hiding out at and stuff like that. So I don't understand why he don't just move in there or sell it and buy something else. I could see them building Sonny a new set, like a new house set if he don't want the penthouse. Cause I know he moved out of the penthouse because it was too small before. That's when he had Michael and Morgan and stuff, and he wanted something bigger. So I say give him a new crib. But I totally understand why Curtis was a little hesitant at first about buying it or putting in an offer because what do they need with 4 bedrooms? That house comes with 4 bedrooms and 4 baths. Curtis was like, what do we need 3 extra rooms for? And she's sitting there talking about, well, Trina gonna be visiting. I'm like, okay, you can get a 2 bedroom for that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need 4. And then she talking about, oh, Marshall could come and stay for a while. I'm like, yeah, no, that's what you got a couch for. Um, she was just coming up with all type of random excuses to have all those extra rooms. I'm like, you do not need 3 extra bedrooms. Sorry, but not sorry. You don't need all that. It's a beautiful house though. I would definitely have purchased it. But it's the practical side of me talking because I'm more of a condo kind of person. Like a little 2 bedroom or something. That's fine for me because the other bedroom probably either gonna be a guest room or an office. So that's all the room I need. Um, so she was happy about the house and stuff like that. So they wanted to put in an offer. They were talking about it. Um, Lucy had me dying. Like Lucy, while they over there talking, Lucy on the phone having a little conversation with Martin, sitting over here flirting and trying to be, booed up with Martin over the phone, having a little sexy talk. I ain't even mad at Lucy. Listen, while you at work, you gotta get it in how you can get it in. I'm not mad. Um, I do find it amazing that Lucy got all these different jobs. Like she running deception, she's a realtor. This heifer came out with a whole book. Like Lucy is a hustler. I love it. She be getting her money. I'm not even mad at it. Get your coins. Um, so Curtis and Portia decided to put in a big offer or whatever, a nice sizable offer to get the house. Um, I wish sometimes that they would mention how much them houses are selling for, because I'd be curious at that. I'd be like, how much this house going for? So I really wish sometimes when they talking about somebody buying a house, I wish that they would mention how much it costs, because I'd be really wanting to know, like, how much is this going for? Because I know Curtis and Portia got some money, but that house looked like it's in around the 2 million range, probably like 2-3 mil. I'm like, y'all got that kind of money laying around? I'm just saying, that's a lot of ducats. So anyway, moving on from that, Trina and Spencer, I really like the chemistry between them. I really do. But I'm gonna need for Spencer to drop Esme because you could tell that he want Trina. He want her. He went out of his way to get that girl a gift. Even from prison, he went out of his way to make sure she got a gift. Um, I like the chemistry between them though. I really do. You could tell that he really want to be with her. Like you could see that in his face and the way he talked to her. Um, and he was talking about, oh, when I get out of Spring Ridge, you gonna throw me a party and stuff like that. Trina was like, you'll be lucky if I give you a cookie. I said that's what he want. He wants some of your cookie. That's what he trying to get into. But he gonna have to ditch Psycho Cindy over there first because you ain't about to have my boo looking like no little side chick. It ain't gonna go down like that. Um, but yeah, he had that little privilege going for himself though, getting a furlough out of Spring Ridge to go visit his mother grave. I said that's some privilege, and I'm glad that he did acknowledge it. And he did that he got privilege. I'm like, good, it's about time. Uh, Cause that's like any one of us going to jail somewhere. You think they just gonna let us out to go visit a family member's grave? No, it ain't gonna happen. Thank God I stayed out of the penitentiary. I'm happy about that. I stayed out of the criminal justice system. I managed to keep out of that mess. Um, but yeah, I'm rooting for them though. I really am. I hope that he finally ditches little Esme and he finally realized like him and Trina was destined to be. Um, I hope that Spencer is gonna turn over a new leaf because he claimed that he wanted to be a man that his mom, Courtney could be proud of and stuff. I hope he mean that. I hope so. That he doesn't, turn out the way Laura hopes he doesn't, and Courtney wouldn't want him to be, which is a true Cassadine. But I also think it's always good to have that dark side to you in a way because I feel like everybody got it. I think everybody has that side to them, but it only comes out for certain reasons, and that's what I hope that he keeps his edge. You know what I'm saying? That Cassadine edge, but you know when to bring it out. So anyway, moving on from that, Esme ain't shit. She had that sex video playing on that screen for all them kids to see, and the professor was trying to turn it off and stuff and couldn't do it. I was like, oh my lord. And the professor gonna talk about, oh, make sure y'all keep up with y'all personal files so stuff like this don't happen. Um, Cameron was shocked because Cameron at first thought Jocelyn was trying to blame him for this. But I'm like, none of y'all recorded that though. And then he tried to bring up Sonny or Nell. I'm like, how? What? For one, that's some perverted shit for Sonny. Even if you know what I'm saying, like, why would you think Sonny would do something so stupid and perverted? Like, he would never do that. Um, and Nell, I'm like, how the hell would Nell have planted a video there and then upload it to your class? Even she can't do that from beyond the grave, Cameron. I'm just saying. So the logical choice was Esme, and Jocelyn knew it. Jocelyn knew Esme had something to do with that. She knew it. She was at the cabin with them, and Esme sitting there, oh, how would I have done it? You basically kicked us out. You were in that bedroom for a hot minute. You had ample time to plant a camera there. Don't even try that. So then she tried to place the blame on Jocelyn and stuff like that. And then, of course, I knew what she was trying to do from the get-go. She was going to try to put the blame on Trina. As soon as Trina walked in the door, that's exactly what she tried to do. Put blame on Trina. I said, oh, hell no. And I hope Jocelyn not dumb enough to fall for it. Yeah, her and Trina have had issues as of late, but she should know her friend better than that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should know your friend better than you know Esme. Like, everybody know Esme a conniving ass witch. So you know she did some foul stuff like that. You should know your good friend didn't do it. Even if y'all beefing right now, you should know your friend circle and know what they're capable of. And she should know Trina better than that. Like, come on now. And I can't wait for tomorrow for Trina to get in her ass. I cannot wait because judging by the previews, it look like Trina gonna get in on Esme, and I can't wait for it. I cannot wait. But anyway, that was pretty much the whole episode. Hit the comment section, let me know what you all thought, and I will see you all later. Have a great day. Peace.